Welcome to Big Sky Voices. My name is Ben Boothe, and my friend.
And I'm Victor Waumett with Big Sky Voices and Storyteller Films.
Well, we have got a special guest here. Victor, introduce our guest.
Our guest today is Antonio Weiss, or Weiss, depending on where you live. We talked last week about making independent films in New Mexico, sort of in general. I thought it would be interesting to have a guest on who's actually made an independent film here in New Mexico. Antonio, tell us in 30 seconds what your film is about.
The film takes place in the world of human trafficking, but it is not a documentary. It's an action drama in which a woman gets a tip about a cell of human traffickers in her neighborhood, and she decides to help these girls escape, but things go a little bit too far, and
Well,
she's successful.
Okay, that's an interesting subject matter. Why did you choose to use a narrative form instead of, say, a documentary, which normally people do?
Well, I thought about how could I make more of an impact, I guess, in order to raise the conversation. It's difficult to say. It's fun to watch because this is about human trafficking, but I try to make a piece where these traffickers really have a bad day. They get nicely punished, and so in that sense, it's fun to watch, and you get invested in the film. You get invested in the whole drama of human trafficking, and thereby want to know more about it than if it's just a documentary, which will give you information, and then we resist those kind of things, especially in the world of human trafficking.
Well,
And
I saw your film at the Santa Fe Film Festival, and I have to say, Cuts, and I have to say the audience loved it. You got a very good reception there. So I think your choice of a narrative form for this film probably was a wise choice. How long did it take you to actually put this piece together, from the idea to the writing to the planning to the shooting to the editing to the showing?
Well, the idea came roughly at the beginning of the year 2016,
Okay.
maybe February or March, and after that it was a matter of raising funds,
Okay.
and that sort of stalled the whole process. But because the process was stalled, this allowed to improve the script, tighten every element in the story, and make things ring more true in every sense. And the actual production, after we were able to raise funds around August,
Okay.
and the actual production took place in September in 3 days.
Okay.
And
So
the
you shot
rest-
it in 3 days.
Yeah, we shot it in 3 days.
How long's the film?
34 minutes.
So you shot 34 minutes in
Wow,
3 days.
that's
That's quite a
amazing.
feat.
Yeah, yeah. You have to do when you have very little funds.
What did it cost you to do this film, if you don't mind sharing that?
Well, it was roughly around $10,000.
Really? Well, you did a great job for 34 minutes of film. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
So you had your own equipment, or did you have to rent it? How did you?
I actually rented the camera equipment. I believe I could have done it with my own equipment, but I wanted to get
You were going for.
I wanted to get better stuff than
Yeah.
I had, and in the end, the equipment that I rented did not improve what I had. There were some technical faults that made it.
Yeah.
What's the word? Just as good as if I would have been shooting with my own equipment.
Okay.
That's what I would say, but probably not.
Okay. Did you do the camera work yourself?
In some parts, in
Some.
some scenes, I did camera 3.
No.
We had 2 cameramen, camera 1 and 2.
I understand, and this is a compliment, that everybody that worked on your film got paid.
Yes. and that's where most of the funding went
Right.
went to. I did not want to make a film where the artist comes and one more time the artist does what he does because he loves to do it. So does the dentist and the engineer and everybody else. Now, why is that the artist always has to do it for free? So,
Uh-huh.
Well, I compliment you on that. That's a good thing.
Let me ask you something. When you're doing an independent film and you find actors that are SAG actors, how is it? What is the method? I think there's a way to do it where you can use a SAG actor, even though for an independent film sometimes the rates are maybe more than you might want to pay. How does that work?
to begin with, because of this, I decided not to work with SAG actors, and I had a few people that I had to pass over
Mm-hmm.
because they were SAG. In the end, I had worked. One of the people was SAG, and it just so happens that a friend of mine in Los Angeles was the liaison, the director of SAG business between actors and the companies in Los Angeles. It made it very easy for me because I wasn't doing most of the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
I was just following his instructions. But you can work with SAG actors for very little, and they have to agree with it, and there's a lot of paperwork involved.
I spoke to the head of SAG for New Mexico, and they have actually a special contract now
Yes.
where you can fill out and you say, well, you can do this as long as you sign it on a SAG contract. And but I think some people are afraid of that. But like you say, it is possible. And
I was afraid of it.
yes,
But this person was just so perfect for the role that I had to take a chance with it, and it worked really well. Now, if this film were to make lots of money, this actor would be getting royalties.
Mhm.
The others would not because they're not
Mhm.
union.
Where is it being shown? How do you market it or distribute it? Where is it being seen?
Well, at this point, it debuted at the Santa Fe Film Festival, and you saw it.
I did, yes.
It was very close to a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm entering into different festivals. I just submitted it to the Cannes Film Festival, and I want to submit to different festivals around the world and in the United States. And I also want to enter. I want to have a benefit show in Santa Fe for the sake of the piece and the subject itself, because I didn't do this piece so that I could make money. It was more a need to help others doing this film.
Well, Antonio, now that you've made a 34-minute film, how big a jump would it be for you to make a 90-minute film? And is that in your plans?
It is in my plans,
All right.
and it all comes down back to the funding.
Okay. Would you make it here in New Mexico?
Absolutely, if I can help it. In fact, I do have a script that some people are interested, which is not to say much.
Interest is cheap.
Yeah, exactly. The real thing is when the funding is in front of you and you can start hiring people to do the different jobs that need to be done to get a film done. But the technical aspect of it, I don't think it's a much bigger jump. It's more zeros. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you get the funding? And is this where you talk to money people, or is there a list? I mean, how do you go about raising money for something like this?
You ask as many as you can that you think might be interested in it, and somebody or a group may want to. They may believe in the project. Some of them, because in this case, it was because they believe this piece needed to be done, needed to be made. In a piece, if you're trying to make a feature film, obviously these people are going to wonder whether the piece is going to make money. And based upon that, they might be interested in what's the word?
So would you,
Investing.
If though, let's say, someone came up to you and said, I'm going to put $10,000 in this project, or your next project, or $100,000, pick a number. If they don't make money, is that a tax deductible expense? How does that work?
Yeah, it is. It's anytime you invest something in something like that, it is a tax write-off.
Mhm.
For some people who can afford to put $100,000, that's a tax write-off. Ideally, they would like to make money.
Mhm.
The second best thing is a tax write-off.
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of far second best.
Yeah.
Did you apply for the New Mexico tax credit program?
Yes,
rebate?
I have, and I'm still working with it.
Okay.
It's the numbers and the red tape.
So
takes
under,
a bit.
under that program where you spent $10,000, you might get $2,500 of that back from the tax rebate.
Up to
Right.
2,500,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay.
And if the money has been spent in New Mexico,
Right.
and if you can prove in
Right.
writing that the money has been spent
Right.
in New Mexico.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So, if you, let's say you get a rebate on this thing, and then you get investors, and you're able to move forward with that. So, when you come along, and after you've done one, like yours is being shown at the film festivals and whatnot, is that simply a way of trying to attract more attention so that you can get better investors or better support for the next one?
Well, yes, every work that you do shows that you can do, or that you could do something like this. And, you know, I hope that the next piece will be bigger in scope, and that the people interested in investing in something I work on will be more.
Is this the first film you've done?
Of this kind, that's action drama,
Yeah.
narrative.
Narrative, yeah.
This is the first kind that I treated as a professional film production.
Okay. You've done documentary as well?
I've done documentary, and I've done short films and narrative short films, but they were always very small in scope.
Okay.
If someone wanted to check you out or communicate with you, could you give your website or the link to see the movie or learn more about what you're doing?
Well, at this point, the movie is not in the internet
Mhm.
because it's going through the festival route.
Right?
My website is wisdomtribefilms.com.
WisdomTribeFilms.com. Okay.
Yes. And if somebody would have to write to me, it would be paragweiss@yahoo.com, which is PARAGWEISS@yahoo.com. That's Paraguay, where I was born, and Weiss, my last name, Paraguays together.
Now, do you live in New Mexico, or are you
I live-
mainly in Los Angeles, or?
I live in New Mexico, and I just started a small art gallery after the film,
Oh,
and it's right near County Road.
okay.
Yes.
Well, in making this film, how did you find the talent pool, the people to work with in terms of getting this done?
Well, I did advertise, and I auditioned all
Okay.
kinds of people, technically and actors as well.
You were satisfied with the quality of the size of the pool of people you had to draw from?
I was satisfied given my numbers.
Yes.
I knew that I couldn't go beyond a certain point, and that's when we're talking SAG or,
Right, right.
I was fairly satisfied.
Okay, good.
There's always room for improvement, and
Sure.
you could always do it until you're dead, but there's the next project.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing your big one on CinemaScope, the big screen.
Me too.
With spotlights and people driving up and people taking pictures on the sidewalk, yeah?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Well, you're an encouragement to me because Victor and I run into, what would you say, 10, 20 people a week that want to make a film or have a script or have
But here's
something.
somebody that's actually done it.
And you did it, and you got good response at Santa Fe Film Festival, and I think that's a great encouragement, and congratulations to you.